AI writing is generic. It's soulless. The prose is just slop. We've all heard the critiques, but here is my controversial truth. Prose isn't that important. If you have a story to tell and you want to use AI to help you tell it, bad prose, that argument is the easiest hurdle to clear. It's simply a matter of understanding the AI and learning. But why is it that some people are so hung up on the way words are strung together, the way they look, rather than what they do? And if these tools are so bad, why are some people finding so much success using them? I want to get into why I think the AI slop debate is completely missing the point in the boat. A little bit about me. I'm not just hopping on a bandwagon here. I've been exploring AI tools for a couple of years with writing, and I've been telling myself stories since I was a little kid. I always had trouble falling asleep, and it was a way to kind of get my brain to shut up, to relax and go to sleep. And I always struggled with the technical parts of writing. Specifically, I would hit roadblocks, get frustrated, and quit. After I got older, obviously, and started wanting to write things. But after getting interested in using AI, I was finally able to overcome the things I had trouble with and have managed to self-publish 5 novels. Something I only dreamed about for years. So let's get into this. Here is a simple, some people will heavily disagree, but I consider it to be a harsh truth. Prose is just a tool for communication. If you want to communicate in a flowery, fantastical, layered, nuanced way, then by all means go ahead and do so. But I believe firmly that the only bad prose is prose that fails to tell the reader what is happening. It may not be fancy, but as long as it communicates clearly, it's not really bad. It's kind of like people who talk about a movie like The Adventures of Pluto Nash as being the worst movie ever made. I beg to differ. If you've ever seen the series Mystery Science Theater 3000, there are quite a few examples of movies that are by far worse than that. Here's the thing. I have never heard a non-writer finish a book and say anything about the prose. What people really say are things like, I love the main character, or I didn't see that plot twist coming. It's kind of like the same thing with movies. You only ever really hear film buffs sitting around talking about the lenses or elements of the scripts, technical elements of the movies or TV series. The most people, the general audience, just remembers if they like the movie or not. Now, before we continue, I want to hear from you in the comments, and I want you to be honest with me. I want you to think of one of your favorite books, or it could be a movie or a TV series, but one that is one of your absolute favorites, and be honest. Tell me in the comments, was it beautiful writing or some technical aspect of it that hooked you? Or was it the characters, the plot, the story? Be honest. Now, I do want to say that it is not unfair to say that AI can produce some pretty awful stuff, some slop. But then, so can some people. The thing is, at first, you need to use an AI that is made for writing. I like to use pseudo-write. Link in the description. It is made by writers for writers. Their models are trained to help with writing. So use the right tool for the right job. But going even further than that, whatever the AI produces is still on you to shape it into something better. And even if you're a complete amateur, that can come with time. What can't come with time is if you never actually start or you never finish anything. You can't learn how to shape your prose into something that's a bit better in whatever way you think prose should be better. I mean, obviously there's ways that it can be better. You know, there's always flaws that you need to iron out. But you can't learn to do that if you never actually start or finish anything. That is not the tool problem, it's a user problem. A tool is only as good as the fool who uses it. If somebody takes an AI draft and just hits publish without looking it over, well, that's on them, isn't it? They probably don't really care about the story that much. They're just trying to make a quick buck. And people have been doing that before AI existed, and they'll continue doing it well into the future. There's always been scammers and schemers and get-rich-quickers. You know the term snake oil salesman? A lot of people think it's because snake oil was a bad product. No, snake oil was actually extremely good for you. Snake oil salesmen were people who sold garbage and said it was snake oil. It's always existed. New tools just mean they find new ways to do it. But if you really care about your story, you're someone who cares about your story, you can fix the prose. It takes time to learn how, but you can always do it. Even if you don't know the best ways to fix the prose, you can still iron out rough edges. But here's the thing. What you can't fix with prose is a boring story or bad characters. You cannot fix those things with fancy words or rhythmic cadences. Towards the beginning, I asked this question. Why do people get so hung up on the way words look? Honestly, I think it's a form of gatekeeping. There's a lot of ego when it comes to being a writer. And people who have been doing it for a long time and think that their way is the only right way to do it, they develop a lot of ego around that. So, I think ego plays a big part of it. They don't want new people doing it in different ways because they don't think it's right, because it's not their way. And if their way isn't the right way, well, that must mean that there might be something wrong with them. Or they're just afraid to try new things, to explore new technology and see what it can do, honestly and without bias. And also, being completely honest, I think money plays a big part of it. They're afraid that if there's somebody who makes side income or all of their income off of writing, that somehow AI is going to take that away from them. And they allow that to color everything that they think. I think it's a form of gatekeeping. But in my experience, observing people, readers don't care that much as long as they're entertained. They don't really care about fancy words or rhythmic cadences or other rules of prose. They want interesting characters, they want an interesting story, they want to keep reading and find out what happens next. So, if you want to tell a story and you're interested in using AI to help you do that, don't let the prose police stop you. Wrap things up. I have resources in the description that can help you out along that journey. And of course, doing the usual YouTube stuff, Share, like, subscribe, comment, as I asked earlier, is always appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Later.